Hi guys, this is Luke with Austin's Appliance Service. Hey, I've been kind of wanting to get into these educational videos, these do-it-yourself videos, and I haven't had any place to do it. But I just thought about something today about electrical, testing electrical, understanding electrical, that I thought would help, and I don't need a whole lot of space to do it. So I thought we'd do that. A lot of the problems people run into with appliance repair when they're trying to do it themselves, trying to do the minor repairs, is they don't understand how electricity actually works, and therefore they run into a lot of problems with, a lot of times you saw it in the older generation. Grandpa always ran around with his test light, and those test lights essentially only tell you if it's going to hurt if you stick your finger in it, but it doesn't actually reading the voltage properly. And so we're going to look at just some simple things. We can do it with a light bulb, and on a test strip we'll kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. But I'm going to switch the camera around, and then I can kind of show you what I mean here. And again, this can be real rough. I'm doing it on Facebook Live. I haven't had a chance to, I'm not going to be able to edit things or anything like that. So you're kind of getting what you see. Wasn't able to go to work today, and but just been thinking about this video. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. I'm going to switch this camera, and then I'm going to try to illustrate for you what I mean when people run into issues understanding electricity. So first thing I want to show you here, a lot of people don't know this, and here we go. It's already not real smooth. When you look at an outlet, you'll notice that one side here is actually a little shorter than the other side. What that is actually if an electrician has wired your outlets properly, the shorter side is always your hot or your voltage side. Your longer, wider side is actually your neutral. And so that's just a quick way to know where you're sticking your finger and understanding which one's hot, which one's neutral. Now, the thing you run into with, and where the problem you run into, are people don't understand you don't need just the hot. A lot of people call it the hot or the voltage. You need more than hot to make what's called the load. The load is whatever uses the voltage. Whatever's using the voltage is called the load. So I could have, and I'm going to illustrate it here, I have a light bulb wired up here. I can have a light bulb like this right here. And my black is my line, my white is my neutral. I have to have both to make this bulb work. If I have only hot, bulb won't work. The hot side, again, is this side here. So if I just put this in here, no light, right? But actually, if I was to stick my finger on the end of that white wire, I'd get electrocuted. So what's happening right now is without the neutral, this bulb just becomes part of the wire. It just becomes a path. And it won't actually light. You need the neutral side to actually make the load, actually what it's doing is it's causing the voltage to stop at the bulb. So if I put both sides in, whew, that's going to really blind you guys. Now, I have a working bulb. The reason being is, again, as we described, without neutral, line doesn't do you any good. Essentially what happens is the voltage just goes into the bulb, goes through the filament, comes right back out on the neutral side. And so that's a lot of times when people, if they don't understand how voltage works, that's where they're going to run into the problem. Let's back you guys up here. So that's, a quick and simple illustration, a quick understanding of where people make mistakes. I've had people call me and say, the dishwasher won't work, or the refrigerator's dead, and I've checked for voltage. Well, what they did is they used a test light. A test light will just tell you if it's going to hurt if you stick your finger in there. But it's not telling you if you're getting line and neutral. You need both. Otherwise, what's going to happen is essentially what we saw there. Whatever you've got plugged in just becomes a piece of wire. It just becomes a path for the voltage to pass on by, and it doesn't actually get used. And this is a common thing that people miss. It's a very simple thing, and it's just something. It's handy to know. Just to understand just in general, when you're looking at your outlet on the wall, which side the hot side is, which side the neutral side is, understanding why both are required. Line voltage is useless without neutral. Neutral has to be present to stop it. And we could also illustrate that with the meter. I'm not sure if I can do that and also balance this phone, but let's just see. I've got my voltmeter here. So I'm going to set my voltmeter up. And I don't know if I can get it to where you guys can see it. You might have to take my word for it. But here I've got my voltmeter. Now, if I take my bulb, and I'm going to try to set this up beforehand to where it'll hold this side for me. But if I set this bulb up like this, and take my hot side and put it in here, and then I also go find a ground there, there it is. I'm not getting a very good ground right now. There. I'll go find it on the neutral on that side. Now, if I show you my meter, if I can get everything to balance, there's actually 120 volts right there, 116, and yet no bulb. And again, so what that's showing us is, so now if I was to come in here with Grandpa's test light would say there's voltage there, and yet nothing works. But the problem with the test light is it does not read neutral. You got to have both for the electricity to work. So short video, simple video, but again, I just wanted to show you that to illustrate that without both line and neutral, the appliance isn't going to work. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about appliances, doesn't matter if we're talking about your lamp, doesn't matter if we're talking about your vacuum cleaner. If you don't have neutral, it's not going to work. So sometimes, the best thing to do is to just go find something else to plug in that same outlet. Or if you have a meter and you're familiar with how to use one, test for line and neutral. Line alone, if you just go there with a test light, if I had a test light, which I don't use them, so I don't have one, because I personally think they're useless. But if I had a test light, I could have hooked onto that same white wire with what I just did, and I could have lit that. It would have said, yes, there's voltage there. So, just a short video, simple video. Just wanted to share a little bit on how electrical works.